What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to a new week. I hope that you guys had a fantastic weekend. We had a lot of price action happen throughout the weekend over here in the cryptocurrency market, with this green streak that's been happening over here in the total altcoin market cap still continuing. We have only had 4 red days out of the last 26 days. So 22 green days, 4 red days. And as you can see, the total altcoin market cap is now approaching the big infamous danger zone as we now get up in here near the 702 Fibonacci retracement. So this whole retracement area is where all the danger lies here in the altcoin market. This is the level where experienced day traders are going to take profit and reduce the risk. This also tends to be the spot where emotional new retail traders tend to buy the market back. So they've sold out at the bottom. This tends to be the moment where it gets really excited and they buy back into the market. One of the interesting things that's happening here is I don't see extreme excitement happening in the cryptocurrency market right now. I lived through the bubble pop of 2017. I went through the bull run. I also went through the bubble pop. I went through the 702 retracement that happened there in January and February of 2018 before Bitcoin just completely fell apart. I remember when we were going back into the retrace before it ended up falling apart, and retail investors all treated it as a buy the dip opportunity. So when this dip happened right in here, retail traders all knew buy, hold. We didn't have the whole diamond hands, laser eyes things back then, but if we did, that's what people would have been doing during that moment. And right up in here, coming into the retracement levels back in 2018, if you would have issued any type of warning about that back then, you would have been chastised, you would have been called a FUD starter, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now. Right now, it seems to be pretty accepted that everybody's very aware that this is a really dangerous spot. So makes me a little bit more optimistic, right? In the end, we're just going to have to watch and see what the market does do from this spot because it's a retracement level. This is a boundary area. This is where markets can reverse and continue their legs down further. It's also a place where a lot of consolidation can take place and in different shapes and forms. The big thing that we're all cheering for is for it to break through all these retracement levels. But right now, we're still in them and we're in the nail-biting, teeth-grinding moment. And my suspicion is that this could go on for several weeks. So we're going to be talking about it a lot until we can get through it, so long as we can. When we left off last week, we were looking at the Cardano price chart, hoping to see that we could at least get up to the all-time high to be like our leader for it to start breaking out. We didn't get to the all-time high. We did get through all Fibonacci retracement levels up in here. Let me line that up a little bit better. Over here on the Binance chart, you can see it did cross all Fibonacci levels. Over on Coinbase, which we talked about as well, that has slightly of a different structure here of when the low actually came in. It as well did cross all Fibonacci levels, consolidating here in this profit taking area, the retracement level. So optimistic to see that it did cross all levels, but we still haven't gotten that clear yet for that we have this big leader happening over here in Cardano. However, we do have our first leader in the market that is in the top 15, and that is going to be Solana over here. It has broken through all Fibonacci retracement levels and it has set a new all-time high. So we do have a leader, and it is ranked number 10 over here by market cap over here on CoinMarketCap. So that is an optimistic sign to see that happen right there. But of course, the one that drew the most attention throughout the weekend was the XRP price chart over here, really pumping its way up, getting up to about $1.35 right in here. Now kind of still battling these Fibonacci retracement levels. Not quite up into the big danger zone just yet, but really getting much closer. I had a lot of people messaging me saying, hey, is this the end of it? Is everything crazy because XRP is going wild? It's shooting up super fast. Is this the end of the board? Remember, this stuff is still all in retracement. We haven't seen breakouts everywhere, right? Finally, we have one. We have Solana, that has actually broken out into new all-time highs, but a lot of these other ones, they're still just in retracements. So they haven't confirmed new all-time highs yet. These are just retraces right now. I think the reason why people are so optimistic and think it's absolutely crazy that this is actually happening right now is because their minds got into the mindset that retracements weren't going to happen. We spent a lot of time down there at those lower price levels, and sentiment can get pushed so far down in the gutter that people believe that retracements will just never happen. We're going to zero and there's just no way we're ever going to retrace. But the vast majority of times we see retracements. They're just normal. They happen in here. And the move to the downside was excessive, so the move to the upside is going to feel excessive. And that's because this is the most volatile market in the world. Most people emotionally cannot handle this market because the swings to the upside and the downside are massive, both in price and emotions. But the price action that we're seeing over here in XRP is nothing unusual, as it is still moving back up to the retracement levels. And the big questions will be, what happens with the price once it reaches the retracement levels? Over the last several months, we've spent a lot of time looking over here at the XRP price chart from back in 2017, showing how we had this same style correction with low consolidation, the new capitulative low, the consolidation and the break back up. And you can see it just kept marching its way all the way back up to the 702, then went sideways for quite a long time. I would expect if we did something like that in current times that you'd be seeing 3-4 weeks maybe of that sideways action, all bouncing all throughout here for quite a while. Of course, that's the best case scenario, right? Because what does that do? That leads it to go. But in the end, so long as we're stopped underneath there, we know it's a nail biting moment at that point. We can look at all the times that this kind of stuff has happened in here. You can see back in this time period how we retrace back to the 702, then you go back in for reaccumulation, consolidation, and then finally break out, right? So what you're going to have is you're going to have a lot of people selling this area, the retracement level, to reduce risk of in case there's going to be some type of reaccumulation or if there's going to be a new low. So there's no question that selling pressure is going to come in right here. I think the only people who would buy in this area are going to be the retail traders who are emotionally trading, the ones who all sold out down in here. They can't take it anymore. They're going to buy and just say, I'm holding on for the long term as we're in here. All the professionals are going to be taking profits in here, and we're going to have to see how long that drags out for and what type of accumulation that happens afterwards. And hopefully, we're just doing this because this is what we have been following for the last several months at this point. And sure enough, it has played out precisely up until this point. This big question of whether or not we're going to end up seeing something like this, where it just ends up going straight up in an up line and doesn't provide any type of re-entry opportunity, and it just starts shooting straight up. Look at the total market cap. It did exactly that. It's just been going in this straight up line, not providing any opportunity for reaccumulation, nearly back at the 702 retracement at this point. So I'm going into this moment right now that we're heading into, that as these retracement levels are now getting hit and getting approached, that it's nail biting, right? We didn't see Cardano break out. We did see Solana break out. That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome to see one. It would be great to see 2 or 3 start to do it, because then we can start really getting optimistic and being like, there's several of them doing it. This is amazing. And especially to see the total market cap do it. But as of right now, the total market cap is really approaching the critical levels, and so is Bitcoin. Last week, I created a video to try to kind of explain where my emotional sentiment resides, and this is the area where my nervousness and worry happens. I'm optimistic all the way through here. I'm optimistic up in here, but there's one area that always gets me on edge. And there's a very specific reason why in the intro, coming up to the 702 Fibonacci retracement level, scared, breaks out of it. And it's when you get through that when the excitement tends to show up in this market. And it's when we get back into the retracement levels. And that's where we are in this market right now. So while it was exciting to see the price move up for the XRP price chart, and hey, we're sitting at $1.24 as I'm recording right now, ask yourself 2 weeks ago if you would be happy with us sitting at $1.24 in 2 weeks, and you probably would have said, is that really going to happen? But I'm not here for $1.24, right? I'm here for much higher prices than $1.24. But one of the other charts we've been looking at throughout this entire corrective period has been the IOTA chart, to show exactly how it's had this same corrective structure in 2017. I've showed it over there on the XRP price chart in 2017, Sia coin. Showed it on several charts that this corrective structure has happened before, where you get this double bounce sideways, capitulation, and then one more roll back without setting a new low, and then get out, right? So that's what we have over here on IOTA with your capitulation, bounce, not setting a new low, and then off it goes. But when we look at IOTA and what happened in that, it was doing the same thing, right? It just kept marching its way up with no real big pullbacks until it finally got into the retracement level and really battled around in here. Again, here's this double bounce again. You can see the area that it came down to, kind of just like right there at that one, right at about 50%. If XRP followed something similar to that, right, what would you be looking at? You'd be looking at, up here and then coming back down to 50% once again. Or does it have to come back down to these levels where this consolidation happened right in here? Maybe closer to somewhere in this area between $1 and $1.23. I don't know. It's going to be real hard to predict what's going to happen in these short-term time frames and how long it's going to take to play out, because time is an impossible thing to predict. But hopefully we just play out more something like this, right? And we could see in here, what was it doing? It was hitting the 702, coming back to about 50% and battling around in there. So that's kind of the range that I'm hoping to see that prices just kind of bounce around in there for XRP. Is that, hey, this isn't the top of this right here, that it's not going to get stopped out here below this 618. Why would I not want to see 618 stop it out? Because we did back in the day, and we've been through that before back in 2017, where 618 stopped it out right in here. And then what? Longer consolidation. I don't think any of us want that at this point. So I think the more optimistic thing here is to at least get through that 618. Let's hit 702 up there at about $1.52. And then what can we expect if we continue to follow the things that we have followed so far? There's probably going to be several weeks of ranging for XRP happening there between $1 and $1.50. That would be best case scenario. Of course, breaking out and just going straight up is phenomenal scenario, but I try to be as realistic as possible to say what seems the most likely and still incredibly optimistic. And that would be some bouncing around taking place between $1.50 and $1.10 or something like that. And those are huge percentages, right? Like we're talking about, this is the most volatile market in the world. On the chart, it doesn't look like this big range, right? But if we're talking about this type of price action here, 26, 25%, normal people can't handle that. When the stock market pulls back 20%, it is absolute fear on CNBC screaming that we're in a bear market. We could just have a little bit of a bouncing in a range here on the XRP price chart, and you could call it a bear market once it crosses 20%, right? Because that's the technical threshold for them to claim we're in a bear market. But not only that, let's go back to the Bitcoin example. We've compared the corrective structure of what happened with XRP over here to what happened with Bitcoin back in 2014 and 15, right? Everything's the same, right? You have the double bounce right in here, sideways capitulation, then your consolidation down in here, big breakout, taking out those double bounces that happened right there, right? That's where XRP is right now, right? It's taken out that level right in there, just like we saw back in here for Bitcoin, taking out that level right up in here, just like for XRP. But what happened with Bitcoin after that moment, right? We can see that it came back down after going really parabolic and really tested this level of the sideways of before the capitulative moment where it really fell hard down from there. For XRP, we can see that very clearly of where that is right here on this chart. That's right there in that area between 81 and 87 cents. But just because that big thing happened didn't mean Bitcoin was bearish, right? It had a breakout from the consolidation range and then continued to march up. And so that's something that I have to be prepared for as well. That's a possibility that that could happen, that this level, just like we saw back there on Bitcoin, had to get retested. And the reason I present all these different things that I see and how I'm having to set my expectations is all because we are now at this area. And this becomes the most dangerous spot on charts when you get back to the retracement levels. Fortunately for Bitcoin, it didn't even go that high when this moment did occur. It consolidated much lower right here. We can see that XRP is already above this 50% price level right in here, right up on here on XRP. So it's following something a whole lot more of what we've been talking about for several months, and that we're getting that moment and we're seeing it over there on the total market cap. We're seeing it everywhere throughout crypto, that we're moving and marching back up to the retracement levels. We've seen Cardano break above the retracement levels. We've seen Solana break into new all-time highs. Things are looking really optimistic, but it's not until we can get through them that true optimism can shine for me. There are so many different things that can happen when you get to retracement levels, that you can either reject and go set new lows, you can go back to the lows you just set and reaccumulate those lows, or you can consolidate up here near the retracement levels before the big breakout takes place. And right now, the market has not told us which one it's going to do. And the total market cap of the altcoins is getting very, very close to that moment. And so as we head into this week, at some point you would think that the volatility is going to arrive. I'm hoping that we get our way back up in here. But then you know what? You would think that volatility will be here for a while. And these are big swings that are happening right in here. And pretty much every day, it's going to be peeking around the rest of the market, looking everywhere, looking for those signs, looking for some of the bigger coins to tell us we're getting out of here. I don't follow stuff that's not in the top 50 when I'm looking for signs in the market. Anything can happen with those lower cap coins, those ones that can just be pumped by a handful of people. I'm looking for bigger coins, bigger assets within the cryptocurrency market to start giving us signs. I'm very thrilled to see Solana is one of the ones breaking out. It's in the top 10. And technically, I would consider it to be number 8 because you have USD coin and you have Tether in here. And these are both stable coins right in here. And it's just calculating the total number of stable coins. It's not changing the prices. This is always going to be $1 as long as they're still doing their thing. I'm not going to get into the whole Tether thing. But remove the 2 stable coins from out of here. And you got Solana at number 8. Optimistic to see one of the big boys in the space breaking out into new all-time highs. Optimistic to see that this market has literally been doing precisely what we've been looking at so far, that it's followed all the things that we've been looking for without setting the new low, holding the bull flag on top of the double tap back test on top of the all-time high. Zoom out on that. There's your all-time high. There's your all-time high. That's a little bit better right there. You can see your all-time high right there. We've been talking about this for months, coming back in to hold that level. Sure enough, it has to get back up to the retracement levels. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm cheering for, to send the total market cap shooting off into new all-time highs. And like I keep saying, it's my opinion. It's just my opinion, right? I'm not a financial advisor. It's not investment advice. It's just my opinion. I think that's going to be the last major surge, and it'll be a pretty crazy, wild surge that will happen for the cryptocurrency market before we do head off into a true bear market. I've never believed that this was our bear market happening right in here. I think the next new set of highs that we do, the next big run up, is the last wave of the 2021 cryptocurrency bull run. And I certainly will be selling into that impulsive wave, that new set of highs that we do make. I've got a lot of different cryptocurrency assets, and I will be selling them as we progressively move up. I'm not the type of person, if you were here during the entire bear market, I'm not the type of person who just dumps everything at one time and says, boom, I'm selling my whole bag. That's it. That was the bottom, or that was the top. I didn't do that during the bear market when I was accumulating. I just kept accumulating and accumulating and accumulating the dips. And I did that for a long time. I will be doing the same stuff when we get up into the highs. It's just gradual exits for me. I do have a bag of crypto that I'm going to be holding on to long term. So I will hold that bag into the bear market. That's going to be about 35% of the coins that I bought and held from since last year. But otherwise, the next impulsive wave that we have up, that's going to be my big exit wave. And the big question is the market going to give it to me? Or are we going to get rejected here at the retracement levels? I've stuck to my convictions so far. This is just my personal opinion. It's how I'm handling my portfolio, and it's not going to be perfect for everybody, but it's the way I'm handling mine. A lot of people are going to take partial profits right here to reduce risk. I understand that. I respect that. I can see that being the right decision for a lot of people. It makes perfect sense to do something like that, but it's not part of my exit plan. I've had conviction on where I think this market is going. I'm sticking with that conviction, and I don't think it'll be an easy ride. I think it will be a bumpy ride like it always has been, but I am holding on to my assets to get into new all-time highs. But I just want to make sure I'm clear on my channel. This is the most unbelievably dangerous area in the cryptocurrency market as we're back at the retracement levels. So, if you were hoping we'd start the week with, yeah, woohoo, we're moving up quick. Nope. This is where I'm always nervous, man. There's nothing unusual about this. If you've been with the people who've been with the channel for a long time know this. As we get to the retracements, I'm just very well aware. But the thing is, when we break through them, man, that's where the fun really starts. That's where the live streams kick in. That's where the good times are rolling and we're all having a great time. But it's always marked by these moments when the big breakouts happen. It's once the retracements get taken out. But the retracements are always that big marking point of stopping the market. And so we just have to wait and see. So it's very exciting to see the market get back up into these retracement levels. A lot of people didn't think this was ever going to happen. Of course, I stuck with that it would. But now we're at the point, right? Now we're at the big moment. It's going to be nail biting. It's going to be teeth grinding. It's going to be rough. It's going to be tough getting through the next several weeks. But we'll do what we always do, right? Coming on here every day, taking a look at it. And I'll try to be better about really just being like warning, warning, warning all the time. We'll be looking for the optimistic signs throughout the market. But I wanted to start the week out as we're now super duper close, right? The total altcoin market cap cleared the 0.618, almost there at the 0.702. We're all aware of where we're at right now. But all right, I will wrap this thing up. It's an exciting weekend that we had. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend, and hopefully throughout the next week, and maybe it won't even take weeks, we can just clear through these things and move on. But until then, we've got to watch it closely. All right, I'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like, of course, you can check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. And this is where I have deep dive into all the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the different altcoin market cycles, tying them all together, talking a lot about these Fibonacci retracements, using them all throughout the entire course. I talk about how you can set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. And I talk about my personal exit plans in here. I also do include some market updates in here, the most recent one right there on July 31st. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on my course at bcbacker.com. You can follow me on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.